Hey guys, what if you never missed a call again? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build a AI voice agent that can handle calls 24/7 and book appointments for you using Retell AI and their native calendar solution. So let's get into it and we'll start with a demo.
Hello, this is Cut Above. How can we help you today?
G'day, look, I'm just wondering what time do you guys open tomorrow?
We're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. Would you like to make a booking?
Yes, please. I'd just like to book in a haircut tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the 12th of April.
All right, let me check the availability for tomorrow, April 12th at 11 a.m. One moment, please. We have availability for a haircut tomorrow, April 12th at 11 a.m. Could I have your name to finalize the booking?
Yeah, not a problem. My name's Alex.
Thank you, Alex. Let me finalize your haircut appointment for tomorrow at 11 a.m. One moment, please. Your haircut appointment for tomorrow at 11 a.m. is confirmed, Alex. Is there anything else you'd like?
No, that's all. Thank you. And there we can see that the agent has taken our phone call and then booked us straight into our Google Calendar. So what we're going to cover in this video is we're going to, from scratch, set up our Retell AI voice agent. And then we're also going to connect it to our calendar. And I'm going to show you a few tips on how to tweak the logic around, how to change the voice, and just little things that you can do to make it your own. So what are some of the benefits we can expect from a voice agent? And the clear one is just always available 24/7 to take phone calls and bookings. On top of that, these agents with Retell AI can handle up to 20 calls at once. So you can just see it can just scale and scale. And even beyond that, you can pay for extra call concurrency. So you can take it beyond that 20 limit. On top of that, we've got fully customizable where you can play around with the voice. We can change the scripts and I'll show you guys a few examples of that. Now, as for the platforms we'll be using, we'll be looking into Retell, and Retell is essentially the platform that lets you create fully autonomous voice agents that can handle all the phone calls. Now, they have inbound and outbound, and for this example, we'll be doing an inbound appointment setter, and you essentially write a prompt and you can connect tools around. It answers calls. You can get it to qualify leads. The sky's the limit with this platform. It's really good. And you can see the benefit for this. Any service-based business, whether it's gyms, real estates, trades and services, healthcare. But just a note, when it comes to things like healthcare, you may have to deal with Privacy Act or HIPAA compliance. So there's certain industries that you'll have to be a little more careful. You can't just jump on and use a template for those types of industries. So later on, I'll also show you how to edit the voice prompt and how to use GPT to actually rewrite it for your industry. And I've got a prompt already ready for that, so you guys can check it out. All right, so the first thing you're gonna need to do is go into the description below and you'll see my resource page, which would just look like this. And here you can sign up for Retell, sign up for Cow. There's some links for it there. But what we wanna do is we actually wanna go down to the agent template and we wanna open the agent template. It's gonna open like this. And it's gonna just look like code, but we wanna go right click, save as, and we just wanna save. Now it saves, we're gonna go back to Retell and we're gonna import our agent. And it's as simple as us just clicking and opening, save. And there we have it, our agent is imported. So I'm just gonna go through some of the features in Retell here. So to start with, just up here, we can give our agent a name. And below here, we go into model. So this is essentially the engine that the AI's logic will run off. Now you can see here we've got GPT, which you guys are probably familiar with. Some may be familiar with Gemini and Claude, but the one we're going to use is actually GPT 4.0. Now this is really good and it works really well when it comes to calling those tools, which is our check calendar and our book calendar. Next, we can go across here where you can change your voice. Now within here, you can play around with all different voices. You can demo them, test them out. And what we can also do is you can actually add custom voice. And from here, you can go into voice clone and you can actually drop an audio file of your own voice if you want to clone yourself, which is pretty fun. I've done it. And that's quite interesting. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. Once you go down here, play around, you choose your voice. We want to go to the next big part. So this is the main part I want to cover here, which is the actual prompt itself. So what I'm going to do, we're going to copy this. I'm going to take it across to something called Dillinger. And this is an editor just to give you an understanding of what we've got going on here. So we're just going to copy the prompt in here and I'll just talk you guys through it. So just to start with, you might be wondering, why have we got hashtags here? What's this all about? Now, this formatting is actually called markdown formatting, and it's a structured way for the agent to be able to read the text. And it's very normal when it comes to storing data markdown. What these hashtags basically represent is a heading. So you can see here, by us putting in these hashtags, we've structured the information. So when it reads it, it goes role, the text below it, that's one block of information. And then it can sequence the information just to improve its readability. Now, I won't go too crazy into this, but I'll just give you an overview just so you have a basic understanding of where you can modify things to fit use. So role is just essentially the character or persona or the role that the agent's going to undertake. So this allows it to have better context to understand where its kind of position is. Next is a task, and this is essentially a list of its do's, the thing you want it to be able to do and perform. Next is context. Now, this is where we give it more peripheral understanding. And you got to imagine it's just like your new employee, where once you get their name, you tell them what their job is, and then you give them more information about the business just to give them a broader understanding of where they fit within the ecosystem. So next is current time. This is something where we actually get it to understand what the current time is. It helps with the booking process. And what you'd want to do is actually, you'd like to change this here. So put in your own time zone as well as your own city and country. And that way it will convert the time to your region. So right now, natively Retell AI, I believe it converts to Los Angeles or New York. So we've got to get it to basically get the time from New York and then move it into our time zones. Next, we've got specific. So this is more concrete rules that we want it to follow, where we say, do not request an email. We want it to avoid asking unnecessary questions. This is just where we hammer in a few more of the important details. And next, we've got a conversation guide. So this is kind of the way we'd like the conversation to be structured. And you can see here, we've got it to greet, answer any questions, ask if they'd like to make a booking and go through it. So next, we've got the abilities. Now, this is actually the tools that we want it to know that it has access to. So we're reminding it, hey, you can check availability with a tool that we're going to set up. We'll go through that soon, as well as we can book availability to finalize the booking. Next, we can give it a tone and style. And right now, all this peripheral information is very key to getting it to how you want it to be. So we want it to be professional, yet warm and friendly. You can get crazy with this. You can get it to be jokative, outrageous, funny. Just kind of depends on the tone or the style of your brand. Next, we're letting it know what to do at the end of a call, as well as we're just hammering in that we want it to double check to make sure it's fulfilled all the customer's requirements before the call ends. And then additionally, we've got a few examples of how we'd like some sections of the conversation to flow. So as you can see here in the example, we're articulating to it how to explain the times. And that's just to give it a more clear understanding of how to do it. And then at the end, we've got note. So note is essentially your last chance to really hammer in some things that you're noticing it's doing. So that could be, for instance, avoid using the word assist. Never mention the business hours or the phone prefixes. So if it does mention a number, never say things like +61 for the area code. Even here, I've got it additionally to make sure you confirm the current time and convert it into the Australian time, just because I really wanted that to be certain within it. So you can feel free to play around with this. Another section you can add is you can add an FAQ section. So maybe it might look like this, hashtag FAQs. And you can add question, answer. And maybe you might give it a few examples of some frequently asked questions you guys get and the answer you want it to respond to based on the questions you get. So feel free to add in that. You can put in maybe 10 to 15 different question answers, depending on how large it is. The bigger the prompts, the more likelihood it's going to hallucinate or misspeak. So you want to keep it as tight as possible, because we've got other methods that we can do to store company information, which I'll cover soon. But right now, that's all I want to show you with this, and we'll get into the actual retail side of things. So we've got here the functions. Now, this is where we actually set up the things like its ability to end call, check availability, and to book appointments. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into functions, we're going to click add. And this is the first thing I want you to do. We're going to click end call, and we're just going to click save. So we've already put into the prompt here that it knows that, hey, you can use the end call function. that's available to you. So right there was where we've done it. Next, we want to go add, and we want to go check availability. So here you can see that this is where we're going to be bringing cow.com into it. And I'm going to show you how to set that up and get all this connected. So next, we're going to go over to cow.com. So once you've created an account, you'll kind of be on this page, and you just want to create an event. Now, I'm going to say a styling call, a styling appointment, and duration 30 minutes. So next we've got our availability, and I've mapped out the availability for it. And then we basically from here, we want to grab this number up the top here. As you can see right there, we want to copy that, and we want to go across the Retell. And that here is our event type ID. So that needs to go there. Next, we're going to go back to cow, and then we're going to go down the bottom left, and we're going to go into settings. We're going to go down to API keys. So this is essentially our authentication for Retell to talk to cow. So we're going to add, we're going to call this whatever we want, Retell AI, that's not important. Never expires. We're going to go save. And it's going to give us this number here. We're going to go copy, and we're going to go across the Retell, and we're going to copy our API key. And we're going to change our time zone down here. So I'm going to go Australia/Sydney, and that's all done. Next, we're going to do the exact same thing for book calendar. That's all set up there. And there we have it. Our calendar functionality has now been added on. So if you'd like the agent to know additional context, there's a section here called knowledge base. So think of this as like a digital filing cabinet, and you can put any more context of your business that you'd like it to know, and you can stack that up. That can have up to like 50 to 100 pages. So that can get pretty extensive. So from there, I actually would like to show you this. So here's a nice little trick that I learned. So if you see the welcome message, here's where we can set up our welcome message. And you'll notice here I've got 3 dots. Now, when the agent goes to speak, sometimes you can have an AI agent just speak the whole sentence without the natural breaks that a human would have. So the full stops there allow it to essentially just be like, hello, pause. This is cut above. How can we help you today? And it doesn't actually say the full stops. It takes it as like a slight break in the conversation. So that's a nice little trick that I picked up from someone else actually. And yeah, that's really useful to know. And when it comes to testing your agent, just on the right here, we can actually test through a voice, or we can go to typing. So I'm going to use typing in this example because it actually allows us to watch the tools get called and see that they're all working correctly. So for the first time, I do like to type at bare minimum. Here we can see it's check the availability, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. I know what it's going to ask me next. So we'll just skip that part. I'll give it my number now. We'll confirm that all the booking goes through. There we go. Full result, successfully booked in. Now, if you want to connect this to a phone number, you can actually go, we can go back, we go phone numbers on the left here, and you can actually buy a number. Now, buying a number directly through Retell only works in America. If you want a number anywhere else in the world, I'll have a video that I'll link either, it should be up the top right here, or it will be in the description below. And that shows you where you can buy a number and how you can connect it to Retell. We'll go through all that and we test it. And if we ever want to see the logs of our phone calls, we can actually go on the call history here. And you can see here, I had a phone call that went for 48 seconds. I've got a summary. We've got the full transcript here. You can even listen to the audio. So Retell got some really cool features there if you want to monitor your phone calls. And there's actually ways that you can pull this out and we can put it into like a Google Sheets or into one of your databases, depending on what system you guys use for your customers. So sky's the limit with this. And in future videos, we'll definitely be covering what can be done, and we'll get deeper and deeper into the platform as we go. Now, if you guys want to tailor this agent specifically for your industry, I've actually got a prompt down here that we can use, and we'll actually go through it together. So we've got copy paste this, and you can go into GPT or Claude, whatever you use, copy paste this here. And this is a prompt that will adapt the script for your industry. So say our industry is personal trainer, key things it should focus on, booking in for physio sessions, 45 minutes, targeting people recovering from injuries. I need their name, number, and email. Here we get some common questions, so we might want to ask what their goals are, what are their current issues and injuries. And then next we'll provide our original prompt here. So watch this, we go into Retell, copy that, and then we want to go back to GPT. Let's watch the magic happen. There we go. So you are Johnny, responsible for handling appointments, scheduling conversations. Your focus is on efficiently and professionally booking physiotherapy sessions. And we can see here it's even changed the information it's collecting now to collecting emails. Specifics, we've got conversation guys, ask about their current injuries. And you can see here, now you won't be able to copy paste this and then drop it into your business. This will give you a foundation, and then you'll from here just tweak around, modify it until you really dial it into what you want. Give it a few examples, and then you'll have your agent all worked out from there. All right, guys, if you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you. And you're now equipped with the foundations of building your own AI voice agent for your business that can answer calls and book appointments while you sleep. So if you found this useful, hit the like button, please. And feel free if you've got any questions, any ideas, any different things that you want to look to building in the future, put them in the comments. And I'm still starting out, so you know I'm never missing a comment. I'm replying to every one of them. And if you want to see more builds like this, definitely follow, because in the coming weeks, we're going to be building out lead capturing, lead qualifying, outbound agents, even ones that can connect to our databases to remember our existing customers, that when they call, we can communicate with them and they can make sure they're getting the right service they need. So look, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.